Hello everyone, welcome to Luxury Master. Today we will tell you about the luxurious lifestyle, source of income and spendings of some of world's richest CEOs. So let's begin with Number 10. Larry Ellison. Age, 77. Residence, Hawaii. Co-founder, chair and CTO, Oracle, ORCL. Net worth, $96.1 billion. Oracle ownership stake, 40% plus, $65 billion. Other assets, Tesla equity, $13 billion. Public asset, $17.4 billion in cash and real estate. He was born in New York City to a 19-year-old single mother. After dropping out of the University of Chicago in 1966, Ellison moved to California and worked as a computer programmer. In 1977, Ellison founded Software Development Laboratories, SDL, alongside Oates and Miner. 2 years later, the company released Oracle, the first commercial relational database program to use structured query language. The database program proved so popular that SDL would change its name to Oracle Systems Corporation in 1982. Ellison gave up the CEO role at Oracle in 2014 after 37 years. He joined Tesla's board in December 2018. Ellison, long known for extravagant spending, has invested heavily in luxury real estate over the last decade. Perhaps his single most impressive acquisition was the $300 million purchase of nearly the entire Hawaiian island of Lanai in 2012, where the billionaire has lived since 2020. Ellison has built a hydroponics farm and a luxury spa on the island. Ellison has focused his philanthropy on medical research. In 2016, he gave $200 million to the University of Southern California for a new cancer research center. Ellison backed the Oracle Team USA sailing team, which won the America's Cup Racing Series in 2010 and 2013. Next is Number 9. Steve Ballmer. Age, 66. Residence, Washington. Owner, Los Angeles Clippers. Net worth, $99.3 billion. Microsoft ownership stake, 4%, $90.3 billion total. Other assets, Los Angeles Clippers, $3.2 billion. Private asset, $5.9 billion in cash. Steve Ballmer's house. Steve Ballmer yacht also adds to his unique and prestigious collection of luxuries. He owns a $10 million home in Hunts Point, Washington. Besides, he also has other luxurious homes in many states across the U.S. Steve Ballmer is one of the leading men responsible for the rise of Microsoft as the leader in computing technology today. Interestingly, he is known for his exuberant, energetic personality. Read more. Briefly.co.za web link. Steve Ballmer joined Microsoft in 1980 after Bill Gates convinced him to drop out of Stanford University's MBA program. He was Microsoft's 30th employee. Ballmer went on to succeed Gates as Microsoft CEO in 2000. He held the position until stepping down in 2014. Ballmer oversaw Microsoft's 2011 purchase of Skype for $8.5 billion. Ballmer owns an estimated 4% of Microsoft, making him the software giant's largest individual shareholder. In 2014, shortly after stepping down as Microsoft CEO, Ballmer purchased the Los Angeles Clippers basketball team for $2 billion. Ballmer lived in the same dorm and on the same floor as Bill Gates while the two attended Harvard University. The brotherly relationship between the two became strained when Ballmer started pushing the tech company into hardware, such as the Surface tablet and the Windows mobile phone, during his tenure as CEO. Next is Number 8. Warren Buffett. Age, 91. Residence, Nebraska. CEO, Berkshire Hathaway, BRK.A. Net worth, $102 billion. Berkshire Hathaway ownership stake, 16%, $113 billion. Other assets, $1.1 billion in cash. The most famous living value investor, Warren Buffett, filed his first tax return in 1944 at age 14, declaring earnings from his boyhood paper route. 75. He first bought shares in a textile company called Berkshire Hathaway in 1962, becoming the majority shareholder by 1965. He expanded the company to insurance and other investments in 1967. Now Berkshire Hathaway is a $705 billion market cap company, with a single share of stock, Class A shares, trading at more than $439,000 as of August 5, 2022. Buffett has dedicated much of his wealth to philanthropy. Between 2006 and 2020, he gave away $41 billion, mostly to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and his children's charities. Buffett launched the Giving Pledge alongside Bill Gates in 2010. Buffett, 91 years old, still serves as CEO, but in 2021 he hinted at who might be his successor, Gregory Abel. Abel is the head of Berkshire's non-insurance operations. Next is number 7. Sergey Brin. Age, 48. Residence, California. Co-founder and board member, Alphabet, GOOG. Net worth, $102 billion. Alphabet ownership stake, 6%, $87.3 billion total. Other assets, $14.7 billion in cash. Sergey Brin was born in Moscow, Russia, moving to the US with his family as a 6-year-old in 1979. After co-founding Google with Larry Page in 1998, Brin became Google's president of technology when Eric Schmidt took over as CEO in 2001. He held the same post at the Alphabet holding company after it was established in 2015, stepping down in 2019 when Sundar Pichai took over as CEO. Brin spent much of 2019 focusing on X, Alphabet's research laboratory responsible for innovative technologies like Waymo self-driving cars and Google Glass smart glasses. He has also donated millions of dollars to Parkinson's disease research, partnering with the Michael J. Fox Foundation. Next is number 6. Larry Page. Age, 49. Residence, California. Co-founder and board member, Alphabet, GOOG. Net worth, $106 billion. Alphabet ownership stake, 6%, $91.8 billion total. Other assets, $14.6 billion in cash. Like several tech billionaires on this list, Larry Page embarked on his path to fame and fortune in a college dorm room. While attending Stanford University in 1995, Page and his friend Sergey Brin came up with the idea of improving internet data extraction. The duo devised a new search engine technology they dubbed Backrub, named after its ability to analyze backing links. From there, Page and Brin went on to found Google in 1998, with Page serving as CEO of the company until 2001, and again between 2011 and 2019. Page was among early investors in Planetary Resources, a space exploration and asteroid mining company. Established in 2009, the company was acquired by blockchain firm Consensus in 2018 amid funding problems. He has also shown an interest in flying car companies, investing in both Kitty Hawk and Opener. Shares of Google soared almost 50% in 2021, moving Page and Brin up the billionaire list. Page's net worth went from just below $52 billion in March 2020 to the current $105 billion. Next is number 5. Bill Gates. Age, 66. Residence, Washington. Co-founder, Microsoft Corporation, MSFT. Net worth, $118 billion. Microsoft ownership stake, 1.3%, $29.1 billion. Other assets, Cascade Investment LLC, $82.4 billion. Public assets, $55.6 billion in cash. While attending Harvard University in 1975, Bill Gates went to work alongside his childhood friend Paul Allen to develop new software for the original microcomputers. Following this project's success, Gates dropped out of Harvard during his junior year and went on to found Microsoft with Allen. In 2000, Gates' two philanthropic organizations, The William H. Gates Foundation and the Gates Learning Foundation merged to create the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, still co-chaired by Gates and his ex-wife, Melinda French Gates. Through the foundation, they have spent billions to fight polio and malaria. The foundation pledged $50 million in 2014 to help fight Ebola. As of 2021, the foundation had spent more than $1.9 billion to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2010, alongside Warren Buffett, Bill Gates launched the Giving Pledge, a campaign encouraging the wealthy to commit to donating most of their wealth to philanthropic causes. Bill and Melinda French Gates divorced on August 2, 2021. With the divorce, roughly $5 billion in equities were transferred to French Gates. Bill Gates is also largest private owner of farmland in the U.S. with over 268,000 acres. Next is number 4. Gautam Adani. Age, 60. Residence, Gurgaon, India. Founder and Chair, Adani Group. Net worth, $123 billion. Adani Enterprises, Power and Transmission's ownership stakes, 75% each, $68.5 billion. Other assets, 65% of Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone, $12.4 billion. Public asset, 61% of Adani Green Energy, $24.9 billion. Public asset, 37% of Adani Total Gas, $17.4 billion. Public asset. Gautam Adani, the founder of Adani Group, surpassed Mukesh Ambani in March 2022 as the richest person in Asia. Adani, via his ownership of Adani Group, owns major stakes in 6 key Indian companies, including a 75% stake in Adani Enterprises, Adani Power, and Adani Transmissions, as well as a 65% stake in Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone, 61% stake in Adani Green Energy, and 37% stake in Adani Total Gas. Adani dropped out of college and previously worked in the diamond trade. Now, Adani has the largest port operator, closely held thermal coal producer, and coal trader in India. In 2020, he purchased a 74% stake in the second busiest airport in India, Mumbai International Airport. The billionaire was kidnapped and held for ransom in 1997. Adani was also in Mumbai's Taj Hotel during the 2008 terrorist attack. Next is number 3. Bernard Arnault. Age, 73. Residence, Paris, France. CEO and Chair, LVMH, of MUI. Net worth, $145 billion. Christian Dior ownership stake, 97.5%, $119 billion total. Other assets, Mliz and Company equity, $21.8 billion. Public asset, Hermes equity, undisclosed stake, and $10.3 billion in cash. French national Bernard Arnault is the chair and CEO of LVMH, the world's largest luxury goods company. LVMH owns brands including Louis Vuitton, Hennessy, Marc Jacobs, and Sephora. Most of Arnault's wealth comes from his massive stake in Christian Dior SE, the holding company that controls 41.3% of LVMH. His shares in Christian Dior SE, plus an additional 6.2% in LVMH, are held through his family-owned holding company, Groupe Familial Arnault. Arnault remained Ferenal's chair for another 6 years, until he acquired and reorganized luxury goods maker financier Agac in 1984, eventually selling all its holdings other than Christian Dior and Le Bon Marché. He was invited to invest in LVMH in 1987 and became the majority shareholder, chair of the board, and CEO of the company 2 years later. Next is number 2, Jeff Bezos. Age, 58. Residence, Washington. Founder and Executive Chair, Amazon, AMZN. Net worth, $165 billion. Amazon ownership stake, 10%, $140 billion. Other assets, Blue Origin, $9.15 billion. Private asset, The Washington Post, $250 million. Private asset, and $14.9 billion in cash. In 1994, Jeff Bezos founded Amazon.com in a garage in Seattle, shortly after he resigned from the hedge fund giant D. Shaw. He had originally pitched the idea of an online bookstore to his former boss David E. Shaw, who wasn't interested. Though Amazon.com originally started out selling books, it has since morphed into a one-stop shop for everything under the sun and is arguably the world's largest retailer. Amazon's pattern of constant diversification is evident in some of its unexpected expansions, which include acquiring Whole Foods in 2017 and entering the pharmacy business the same year. Bezos owned as much as 16% of Amazon in 2019 before transferring 4% to former wife Mackenzie Scott as part of the divorce proceedings. In 2020, Amazon's share price jumped 76% on the heightened demand for online shopping amid the COVID-19 pandemic. On July 5, 2021, Bezos stepped down as CEO of the e-commerce giant, becoming its executive chair. Bezos originally took Amazon public in 1997 and went on to become the first man since Bill Gates in 1999 to achieve a net worth of more than $100 billion. Bezos' other projects include aerospace company Blue Origin, The Washington Post, which he purchased in 2013, and the 10,000-year clock, also known as the Long Now. On July 20, 2021, Bezos, his brother Mark, aviation pioneer Wally Funk, and Dutch student Oliver Mann completed Blue Origin's first successful crewed flight, reaching an altitude of more than 66 miles before landing safely. Bezos' wealth peaked at $211 billion in the same month. Next and the topper of the list is Number 1. Elon Musk. Age, 50. Residence, Texas. Co-founder and CEO, Tesla. Net worth, $254 billion. Tesla ownership stake, 16%, $130 billion. Other assets, space exploration technologies, $46.9 billion. Private asset, The Boring Company, $3.33 billion. Private asset, Twitter, $3.0 billion. Public asset, $11.2 billion in cash. Elon Musk was born in South Africa and attended a university in Canada before transferring to the University of Pennsylvania, where he earned bachelor's degrees in physics and economics. 2 days after enrolling in a graduate physics program at Stanford University, Musk deferred attendance to launch Zip2, one of the earliest online navigation services. He reinvested a portion of the proceeds from this startup to create X.com, the online payment system that was sold to eBay Incorporated, EBAY, and ultimately became PayPal Holdings Incorporated, PYPL. In 2004, Musk became a major funder of Tesla Motors, now Tesla, which led to his current position as CEO of the electric vehicle company. In addition to its line of electric automobiles, Tesla also produces energy storage devices, automobile accessories, and, through its acquisition of SolarCity in 2016, solar power systems. Musk is also CEO and chief engineer of Space Exploration Technologies, SpaceX, a developer of space launch rockets. In April 2022, Musk began a campaign to take Twitter private, which culminated in a $44 billion buyout. Musk planned to fund the deal with $21 billion of his own capital. In the run-up to the buyout announcement, Musk sold 9.6 million shares of Tesla, valued at roughly $8.5 billion. In July 2022, Musk decided to back out of the Twitter buyout. As a result, Twitter filed a lawsuit against Musk to force the buyout to go through. Then Musk countersued the company,